Then we look at this heading, make a data frame to capture your answers in. So this is the assignment part now. So what you're going to do is you're going to create an object, section 1 answers, and that object is going to be, it's a data frame or like a spreadsheet like file. The idea of that is just that you're going to save your answers, the answers to the questions, into that data frame, and then that data frame you're going to export as a file, and that you are going to submit in Moodle as part of your assignment. So what's happening here looks a little bit confusing because this line is running across. The function we're using is tibble. That's the name, so you can imagine what that does. It's going to create a tibble like this one that we're still seeing here. We're now basically going to create one, and we're going to tell it which columns we want and what we want in those columns. So that's what we're doing here. Let me make this bigger. Okay, that's going to be less confusing. Okay, so the function is tibble, and then as you can see there's a few arguments in it, and the round bracket closes again. So all of this between that round bracket and this round bracket, that's still part of the arguments in the function. So where it says name, it says name equals, it says question equals, and it says answers equals. Those are the columns we're creating. So by writing it like that, R knows that we're creating a data frame and we're creating 3 columns in it. One is called name, one is called question, and one is called answers. Then we give it the equal sign, and then after that we tell it what we want in those columns, in each row of the column. If I give it only one value, it's going to fill those rows with the one value. If I give it more than one value, like here, it's going to put them, it's going to put that inside the row. This NA that you're seeing here is basically just a placeholder, because we're first going to create the data frame and then we're going to save into specific places into it. We're going to save specific things. So that's what this NA is for. It's just a placeholder basically. The second column, so the first column we're just giving this placeholders. The last column we're also just giving this placeholder. But the middle column question, we're actually giving 1, 2, 3, 4 values. And the way we create this is again with a function. You know, it's a function because there are these round brackets. So that means this little c that we have in front of the round brackets must be a function. And indeed it is a function. The c is for concatenate as far as I know. And that's just a big word for putting together or gluing together. So the c is a function, and it's basically just telling R, please put this, 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 this all into one string. The reason it is in quotes is because this is a categorical variable that we're creating. So if it was numbers, then we would have just given the numbers without quotation marks. But as soon as it's words or something that you want to save into a variable, you're going to use double quotes like this. Okay, so let's run this line of code. As you can see, not much happens. I'm just going to make this bigger again. It just shows you that you ran the code. So if you want to see what it is that you created, you'll have to run it. Autocomplete with tab. If you run that, this is what it looks like. So now by looking at this function and looking at the output, you can hopefully understand what's going on. I see there's just a rogue space there. I'm just going to run it again and run this again. to fix that. So yeah, so take some time to look at this function and look at the output, and then you'll understand what's going on. So this is our 3 columns that we created. This is what it looks like. The NA placeholder that I said. Like I said, we provided it only once, not 4 times. So if you provide it only once, but R needs 4 things to put in there, it's just going to repeat the one value that you provided. And then this question, as you can see, it put it into the 4 different rows. Then what you're going to do next is, I want to, because you're going to submit this to me as part of your assignment, I need to know whose answers I'm looking at. So that's why you're going to put your name in here. So how that works is, as you can see, we're telling R which object to use. We're using the $sign to tell it which column it should put your name in. And again, we're going to provide only one value to it. So you should expect that R is now going to put your name into every row. And that is what I want you to do. So what you should do is, in between the quotation marks, you delete the your name part and you write your actual name. And if I do that and run it, and we run section 1 answers again, you can see what happened. It has now put my name into all the rows of the name column, because that's what we specified.